You're listening to the Mile You're In podcast. Everything running related, from 100 meters to 100 miles. And now, here's your host, Phil Patterson Jr.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Mile You're In podcast. And a lot has gone on since the last episode. But before I get into that, of course, I got to shout out my Patreon supporters, Becky, Francine, Mr. Anonymous. And I also, after I recorded that last episode, I told you about the gentleman I bumped into at my old job. He hit me up. He heard the episode. He hit me up on Instagram. So, Mark, I appreciate the continued support, listening to all the episodes and supporting the show. I appreciate you. And I appreciate you hitting me up and helping me identify who you were. Man, if y'all remember the last episode, I was talking about what had happened with me on that run and a similar run about a year prior to that. And I don't know if I can't remember if I was mentioning it during the episode while I was recording that I was even still feeling kind of funny, but I finished the episode. I sat down to start editing and uploading it. And while I'm doing all that, like, I'm just not feeling good. And I feel like part of it might have been just in my head, like anxiety. And I was kind of stressing myself out. It could have been that. I don't know. But like, I started having like chest tightness and my breathing felt short and the heart palpitations were back. And I was like, yo, I didn't know if I was having or about to have a heart attack. Like, I was just like, yo, something's not right. And literally like moments after I uploaded the episode, I went back to the emergency room to get checked out because I was starting to get concerned and worried. And when I got there, they ran some more tests and they checked me out and they're like, compared to the other day when you came in, they're like, you look good now. We can see your heart rate is still kind of fluctuating, but they're like, even then, like, your resting heart rate is lower than most people that come in, because of you running so much and being athletic. We'll monitor you for the next couple hours, but we don't see anything wrong. At least nothing wrong enough to keep you here. So they kept me for a couple hours and they let me go. And I was feeling good for that week. So I decided to go out that Sunday for a slightly shorter run. I tested it. I said, let me see how I feel. And, I'm not going to push the 20+ mile run, but let me see how I felt. And I'm not going to lie, like at the very, like the moment I woke up, I started feeling anxious. Like I was stressing myself out. I was nervous. I was concerned. I'm like, yo, what if something happens again, right? Like you start psyching yourself out. And while I'm getting dressed and trying to eat something and drink something, and even the first couple of miles, like I was just very, like every little thing I felt, I was starting to overanalyze and just psych myself out. So finally, like around, that typical 5 mile break that I get, I stopped. I got something to drink, got something to eat. I cut out the ice cream this time and I got like a banana because they said my potassium was low that day. So I was focused on consuming something a little bit better. I made sure I was consuming more of my hydration mix because I still had to mix in the soda a little bit, for the mental aspect of it. And I felt good. Like I was feeling strong. Like I started getting out of my head and getting back into a rhythm. And I was like, okay, I feel good. Like I think I've shaken off what happened the prior week. And finished that run, felt fine. Did a couple short runs during the week, felt fine. So when I headed out this past Sunday, I said, okay, like let's see how I feel. If I feel good, then I'll push back towards that, typical 20+ mile run. If not, then I'll stick to the 14. But I was feeling good. And around like 17, like I stopped at the gas station and started feeling a little lightheaded. I'm like, yo, don't tell me this is happening again. So, but I didn't feel the way I felt the previous time. I just felt a little lightheaded. So I'm like, all right, maybe I'm getting a little dehydrated, like the beginning stages of it, right? So I got myself situated, got something to eat again, got something to drink, and I was feeling fine. I was good. I finished the run, spending time with my son afterwards. Like, it wasn't until about like 5 o'clock, I want to say. So you're looking at a good maybe 8-9 hours later after my run, where all of a sudden, like, I just start feeling funny again. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? Because I had been eating throughout the day and drinking throughout the day, like staying hydrated and refueled. And I don't know what happened or what's going on. So it wasn't to the extent as the previous time, but I was starting to wonder, like, yo, do I got to go back to the emergency room again? Like, what is going on here? But I was able to, like, stay calm enough that I made it through the night, and things got better little by little. So I've been taking it easy this week, and I'm gonna take it easy on tomorrow's run. I went for one run. What's today? Saturday. So I went on a run Thursday, like a little 4.5 mile run, and I felt fine. I felt fine since. So I don't know. I might just keep things around like a 5 to 10 mile run for a while and just see what's going on. But I have decided to make some changes with my diet to see if that helps too, because again, like they ran a bunch of tests on me, and they're like, yo, your heart looks good, you look fine, like we don't see anything wrong with you. So I don't know, I'm about to turn 40 soon. Maybe it's an age thing. So I'm gonna cut out as tough as it's gonna be. I love my soda, but I'm gonna start cutting it out and cutting back, and see if that makes a difference. Maybe it's the soda, I don't know. But I bought some more healthier foods and some stuff to make some like healthier shakes and things like that, just to consume better and see what happens, right? Keep my levels high, my vitamins and all that stuff, the nutrients, everything you need to be healthier. So we're gonna see. I'll keep y'all updated. Right now I feel okay. Just left the gym, so like I said, it's been up and down. I don't know what's going on. We're gonna figure this thing out. But in the midst of all that, I was having a conversation with somebody, and a story came up, and I thought about sharing it on the podcast, because again, even though this is a mostly running related when it comes to the sports side of the podcast, because again, it's sports and life connecting the two, right? But I've had Dr. Patel come on, the chiropractor, to talk about things in that area. I had Risa Foster talk about long jumping. I've had Coach Jazz come on just to talk about coaching. So it's not always running related, and this story won't be, but it can still relate to many different areas of life. And that's the whole point of this podcast. What I was explaining in the story was, this is going back to my high school days. It was my senior year. I don't know how things work when it comes to high school sports in other states and areas. In Florida, you have, as you approach districts, you have this, we have a counties tournament, or at least down in Broward. I don't know about, I think they have it in Miami too, but I'm not sure about the rest of the state. And you have counties, and it's kind of like the pre-tournament to districts and regionals and states. So you still get some of the local teams together, and it's a big county tournament, which kind of has a similar feeling to districts, regionals, and states. It's a big thing. So in wrestling, you have the bracket. It's there, so you can see where who you're going to face along the way. You see who's each round potentially going to be your opponent if you keep winning. And there was this wrestler from Nova that I had never seen up until that tournament, and I'm looking like at the names, and I recognize most of the names. It was people I had wrestled or seen at other tournaments. So I'm like, okay, I know this person, know that person. I've wrestled them before, wrestled him before. And I'm like, who is this like Nova person? So I'm looking around, and then it's hard to tell too, because now you're looking at a whole team and you're like, all right, I could tell this person's too small to be in my weight class. That one's too big. Like, you can kind of narrow it down. And I'm looking and I see this dude, and I'm like, all right, he's definitely in like the next weight, because I was wrestling 189 at the time. So I'm looking at this dude like, yeah, he's 215. Ain't no way he's in the 189 class. And someone was like, nah, that's the dude in your class. And I was like, yo, first off, he didn't even look like he was in high school. Dude looked like he could already be in college. And he was just like we kind of joked, like he looked like his shape looked and reminded us of like a Ninja Turtle. Like the muscular, like no body fat. Even his head, he was bald, or at least shaved. I don't want to say he was bald, but like he just looked like that Ninja Turtle, athletic, muscular, intimidating shape and size. And I'm like, yo, like that dude's gonna whoop me, right? Like, so, but I'm like, hey, that would still be way down the line of the like, I gotta focus one match at a time, right? You focus on that mile you're in, right? So each match was my mile. So we're going along through the tournament, and I'm observing who's winning, blah blah blah, and then I'm like, it gets to the point where we both walk up to, because they would update the bracket, so every round they'll take down the bracket and put a new one up. That way you can see the most current bracket and who you're going to face. So as we see them posting it, everybody starts walking up to the wall to see their bracket and who they got next. And him and I are standing right next to each other, and we both see, okay, we're wrestling each other next. So I've always been humble. I've always been respectful. I don't trash talk. That's just who I am, right? Karma comes back to get you a lot. So I turn to him and I go to shake his hand and wish him good luck. And I said something along those lines, like, hey, good luck in the match or whatever. And I just remember him. I can't remember if he even shook my hand, to be honest. I don't think he did. But he just looked at me and he was like, well, I don't know about you, but I'm going to the next round. Like, just that cocky, confident, it wasn't disrespectful, but it was like, all right, I was trying to be cool about it, but all right, fine, whatever. So we just went our separate ways, and I'm not gonna lie, I was intimidated. Like, dude, even though I was taller than him, like, dude was just stocky, and like, in my mind, I knew, because even going into the whole season, I already knew I was undersized. At the time, like up until my senior year, I was wrestling the 165, 171 weight class. Coming into my senior year, like over the summer, between that senior year, I put on a little, like, you're growing, right? So I put on some muscle and some weight, and I could not healthily, I don't know the right word in that case. I couldn't get back to 171 and maintain it. Like, the only way I could do it was like really dehydrating myself and cutting weight to a point where I didn't feel strong. So we made the decision, like, yo, we're just gonna do 189. But now, because my metabolism was so high, no matter what I tried to eat and consume to like put on some of that weight, it was just burning off. So my strategy through the season was, I'm gonna be smaller than everybody that I wrestle, so I have to use my technique and my speed, because they're gonna have strength over me. The moment they grab me, like, I'm in trouble if I can't use my technique to get out or my speed to get away. So I knew going into this match, like, I cannot let this dude grab me or I'm in trouble. And I don't remember the score now. I know it was close. It was a close match. But the whole time, like, I'm just nervous and trying to be as careful and cautious with my movements and my technique and trying to just stick to my game plan. And long story short, I end up beating him, right? So again, I'm very respectful, very humble. So anytime I won, I would, most people did this. They would be classy, shake the person's hand, even if you lost. Like, everybody shook each other's hand. The ref raises the winner's hand, and then y'all walk away. You shake the hand of the opposing wrestler's coach, and then you go on your business. So there's a photo of, and I still have it. It's one of my favorite photos, because it really, in a way, like some people would use it to be cocky, I use it to keep myself humble. Every time I see it, it's just a reminder, like, it could be the other way around, right? In the photo, it's both of us, we're standing in front of the ref because he's grabbing each one of our wrists so he could raise my hand as the victor, and we're shaking each other's hand, and I'm looking directly at him, and he's just looking down, like, defeated, disappointed, like, frustrated. Like, he wouldn't even make eye contact with me, and he's just looking down at the mat. And I don't remember how everything unfolded. I don't, he shook my hand, so I at least appreciate that. But there's another picture, because after I was talking to this person about the story, I went back and looked in my wrestling photo album that I still have, and there's a picture afterwards at the award ceremony where they had us all lined up, and I'm standing there, and he's coming up, and like I have my arm, like, kind of like I was like welcoming him up, like, because he wasn't shaking my hand, he wasn't dapping me up, so I kind of just put my arm on his shoulder just to acknowledge him. And he's still same thing, like, he just looks, you can see on his face, like he's upset, he's disappointed, and with valid reason. Like, again, that's a big tournament. We all hope to be the champion of the tournament. We all have different experiences and different outcomes. So in the photo, just like in the post-match photo, it's me looking at him, trying to be the respectful victor in this case, and trying to just acknowledge him, and again, just wish him well for the future. And he's not making eye contact, he's not communicating, he's not, like, he doesn't want to be a part of it. So again, like, I can understand. I've been on the other side of that, and that's why those photos are good reminders to me, because I've been in races where I've competed with friends, and they beat me, to a spot on the podium, and I, maybe a slight part of me was bitter, because you want to win, you want to be, you want to be up there, that pride, that ego, you want to be up there and acknowledged and get the trophies and all of that, but you also want to do well yourself. You have your personal goals and your personal records you're trying to beat. So a part of you is disappointed, but I never took that and treated anybody, even if I didn't know them, like, we're all running our own race, we're all in our own competition, we're all battling our own things. So I just looked at it as whenever we achieve something, we can go about it in one or two ways. We could be very cocky and arrogant, or we could be respectful and humble about it, right? Like, you see a lot of these athletes that are very successful, but they make sure they give thanks to God, and they make sure they give thanks, and they don't talk trash. They're very humble. They respect the process. They respect the journey, the ups and downs, like everything they went through, where there's others that are just always cocky, arrogant, trash talking, disrespectful, unprofessional. There's two different ways you could go about it. In one way I look at it, there's maturity and immaturity. And that's where, you look at these athletes that say they want to be a good role model, and they want to set a good example for their fans, especially the kids that look up to them. And although I'm I was never at that level, no, I don't feel like anybody was looking up to me. That's kind of how I looked at it. Like, every time I stepped on the mat, I wanted whoever was watching me, even if it was the other coaches, the other wrestlers, the other parents. Like I wanted people to be like, yo, that's a good kid right there. Like he the way he carries himself is very, very I'm trying to think of a term here. I was trying to be fancy and use big words, but the way he carries himself is how I would want to carry myself, or how I would want my kid to carry themselves, how I would want my wrestlers, or whatever coach you are, how I would want the kids on my team to carry themselves. Like I tried to put that out there. And even now when I'm out and competing in races, I try to tell myself, like, because I'll have a moment before each race where I'll just get alone and I kind of pray and I talk to God and like, hey, keep me humble. Let me be an example of you while I'm out here on this race. Let me make you proud and just have fun, right? Because there's the part of competition, but there's also, it should be fun. Like you're out there doing something that you should be grateful for. And that's where I circle it back is, and y'all gonna have to forgive me because I might get emotional here, but when I went running Thursday, it's funny because we had a holiday party and I was telling my coworkers, I say, yo, I'm going running after the holiday party. Like I'm going to be out there. We're going to be close to the beach. I haven't run out by the beach in a long time. It's a new area, so it'll be kind of fun for me. And they thought I was joking. And when the party was officially over, I was like, all right, guys, I'm out. I'm going back to my truck. I'm going to change into my running clothes and I'm going to go for a run. And, when I come back, if y'all still here, I'm going to hang out with y'all for a little more. And that's what happened. I went for the run. And again, I was just like the previous run. I was a little nervous because I was like, how's my body going to react? It's the first time I've run since Sunday when my heart kind of felt a little funny. And part of it was insane because I don't know who follows me on TikTok and Instagram, but I put the video up where we had like consistent 33 mile per hour winds with wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour. And the closer you are to the beach, the stronger it was. And we were literally right on the beach. So there were times where I was running and the wind was a headwind so strong that I literally was not moving. Like it was almost like if I was trying to run up the steepest hill possible, where it's just like you're not moving. Or then it would switch to more of like a side wind. And as I was mid stride, it would push my right leg into my left. And I started like clipping my ankles and almost stumbling. Like it was that strong to where then I turned around because it was an out and back run. And on the way back, it was like I was flying. Like at points I would be mid stride and I felt like I was just like gliding in the air because the wind just was pushing you so insanely. So I finished the run. I feel good. I'm hanging out. A lot of them stayed after and had like a little after holiday party type thing. And when I left, I'm walking back to my truck and I just one-on-one having a little conversation with God. Like, yo, thank you for this. Like it hit me how much I really love running. Like somebody, when I came back, one of my coworkers, when they were like, oh, he really went running. Like now they're all telling, yo, did you see this dude just left the party, ran 4.5 miles, came back? Like they were joking because I was like soaked in sweat and everything. And one of my coworkers was like, why do you do this? And I was like, because I like it. And he was like, but why? Like he was trying to get to the root cause and dig deep. And I was just like, yo, like it's a therapy to me. Like I love it. Like the way y'all out here right now, y'all love drinking. Y'all love that buzz you get. Y'all love the way you feel right now. You're hype, you're lit, everything, right? Like you're turned up. That's how I feel when I run. Like it takes my mind to another area. Like I just forget about so much. I forget about so many of the negative things. I have fun. Like it's a therapy to me. And I don't need to speak. I don't have to say anything. I could just get out there and run. And whether I'm going hard or I'm like pacing myself and chilling out, doing the little walk run thing, like it's just being out there, pounding the pavement, being active like that, it does something for me. And that's why, like, I tell people, like, I got, like, today I went to the gym, and after about 30-40 minutes I was ready to go. But like, I could be out there running 4+ hours doing these 100-milers and still like having fun the entire time. Like, physically, if I felt good, I'd keep going to 200, 300, 400. I'd be one of these crazy ultra marathoners. This Harvey Lewis, who did 450 miles in 45 hours. No, it was 4.5 days, something like, you know what I mean? Like, I would do that if I physically could, and if I can afford to take that much time off of work and stuff. But it's just, running is that for me. And I just try to tell people, like, you have to find what you're passionate about, what you love. And in that, I really just I started getting emotional as I walked back to the truck and just thanking God, like, yo, I'm grateful for this, to be able to do what I love. And I don't know what's going on with my body right now, but if this is all I can do is just these shorter 3 to 5 mile runs, 6 mile runs, then so be it. Like, I'll be grateful for that, because when I've been injured and I couldn't run, it hurt. And when I would be out driving to work or driving home from work or going somewhere and I'd see people running, it hurt. Like, I wanted to be out there. Like, it hit me hard. Like, yo, I love this and I can't do it right now, and this hurts. So, a lot of people, like, I have one coworker who keeps trying to tell me, like, yo, stop, you need to rest. And I'm like, I know you're right, but it's like, if I could find a way to do it even just a little bit and get, do it enough to where I'm not pushing that limit, then I'm going to do it, because I just love it so much. And I don't know if I could find something else like cycling or the gym, or, I have other hobbies that I like: fishing, going to the beach, swimming, painting, all that stuff, right? But it's just something about running that just hits different. And it's, if you get it, you get it. We all have what it is that we're just insanely and naturally passionate about. And I'm so grateful that I found this sport. Going back to June 23rd, 2013, I remember it. I remember the first run. And I remember all the different accomplishments that I've achieved along the way to this point. And not just the ones that were accomplished during a race. A lot of them were where it was just me and nobody seen, nobody experienced it, right? They might have seen, I might have posted something about it on social media afterwards, or maybe put a video up or took a picture, but in that moment, it was just me. Like, there was nobody there waiting for me to celebrate with me, no one to talk to about it. Like, it was just me and God, if you want to say it that way, right? It was just, that was it. And that's what I love about the sport, is you don't need anyone else to be there. You could play basketball, you could be out and shooting hoops by yourself, but you can't really, there's not really a competition there, right? Other than like, hey, I want to try to make 50 baskets in a row. Like, okay, it's cool. But you do that in order to play pickup basketball or play in a league or play professionally, right? Football, same thing. You need other people to play. Hockey, tennis, soccer, volleyball, where running, whether it's track, cross country, ultra marathon, you can set those individual goals that no one has to be around, and it doesn't have to be official. There doesn't have to be like a certified course for you to run on to still accomplish those things and have that personal competition and personal goal that you're chasing. And that's what I love about the sport. And that was something I did love about wrestling, again, is that it was a one-on-one. Yes, you had the team competition that you could still win awards as a team, but in the end, it was really just you. A lot of teams were terrible, and they had one or two really good individual wrestlers that went on and won multiple state titles and national championships in college and things like that. Running is that same thing for me. And I think that's, part of it is I'm an introvert, and I like my quiet. I like my side. That's why it's hard for me to run with other people too. You know, a lot of people invite me and I'll go. I've done some group runs or runs with, you know, I got a really good friend, Marcus, one of my best friends. Like him and I have had a lot of just, you know, him and I running together and joking around and pushing each other. But I really like that, just alone, me, the music, or sometimes the silence, or sometimes just the thoughts in my head, or talking to myself, talking to God. Like I like that. And at the end of the day, again, like it's what I'm passionate about. It's what I love. And I really hope everybody that's listening can find that. Find something that you don't care what other people say, what other people think. Like, this is what you love to do, and you're going to do it, and you're going to enjoy it, and you're going to cherish it. And whenever you can't, you're going to miss it and crave the next opportunity you get to. And that's what's beautiful about it. And then when you do achieve your goals along the way, you're not going to be cocky. You're not going to be arrogant, because you know how easily and quickly that could be taken away from you. So you stay humble, you stay honored, you stay grateful and thankful and appreciative. And you look at it in a different mindset, because you know at any given moment it can be taken away from you. I look at a lot of these extremely talented professional athletes that you know, unfortunately some of them get labeled as a bust because they can't stay healthy. But it's like, man, you see how much it hurts for them. I recently saw Jalen Phillips for the Miami Dolphins. You know, and that's a rival. I'm a Bills fan, but I saw him get hurt, and you see him emotionally crying, because it's like he worked so hard to get to where he was, and to be having that level of success, and to be healthy, and to just be doing well, and to have an unfortunate random injury just happen and just take everything away, everything that he loved. It's heartbreaking to see that. And that's how I would feel every time I would have an injury that forced me to get away from running, even though in my mind it's okay, 2-3 weeks, where in his case it's, you know, it could be up to a year, and then you never know if you're going to be the same, right? Because now you're at a different level, to where me, it's like, all right, you know, whatever, I just go out and might just run a little bit slower. But that's his profession, that's his career, you know, that's how he makes a living. And it's that mentality I think we got to have no matter what it is we're doing. Because I see it a lot in the workplace, where a lot of people are very successful and they get very cocky. And it's like at any given moment, I've seen some of the most successful people that I've worked with get laid off because things change, things happen. And you see how quickly and how humble they become when they have to start posting on LinkedIn and other places about being laid off and now needing help finding another job, because it's tough out here. It's, you know, yeah, you could get a job doing other things, but then it's not as easy, because a lot of people look at you as overqualified, right? Or you need more than they're willing to pay to survive because of how tough things are out here. So yeah, you could get a job, but it's not good enough to keep you in that safe financial space where you could survive and thrive, right? So just, I guess the message I want to leave y'all with is to be humble. Know that whatever it is you're doing, whatever you're a part of, can be taken away at any given moment. If you're in a relationship, cherish the guy, girl, whoever you're with, because things can change and you could lose that, right? Relationships are not guaranteed. People change, things change. And if you're not consistent, if you're not grateful for what you have, you're going to lose that. And then it's going to hurt. And that's why they say sometimes what's the saying? Like, you don't know what you have until it's gone. And it sucks that is how it has to be sometimes. And that's how you have to learn. But hopefully if you go through that, you learn and do better the next time. So until the next episode, just consider everything that you're doing, everything that you're a part of, everything that you're passionate about. Be humble with your success. Be grateful for the opportunity, and encourage other people. Like, you can still be confident, successful, and still lift others up. you can do it in a way where you're still holding yourself to a certain standard and what's the term? You could still celebrate your accomplishments, but still lift others up and bring them up and encourage them. Because I've done races where people were coming up to me and praising me. Yo, you were so fast. Oh, what was your time? Oh my God, yo, if I could get to that level, oh man. And I'm like, yo, but what did you just run? Like, yo, that's impressive. Like, I didn't take everything to me. It's like, yo, you just ran impressive too. Like, that was your PR? Like, what? Like, I've been there. Yo, keep doing this, keep doing that. You're gonna get there. Yo, like, we can lift others up while also achieving our own success. We don't have to put others down or make them feel less worthy because we're a little bit better than them or a little more successful than them. We've all been down there and we've all worked our way up to where we are now. So there's people below us, there's people above us. That's what keeps me humble, is that I know whatever it is, whenever I get a compliment, right? I know that same compliment someone's giving me, there's someone who deserves it even more than me. And I don't want to say there's someone who doesn't deserve it, right? Because that sounds cocky. But, you know, there's somebody who wishes they could get that same compliment. And then there's somebody above me that's getting that compliment and even more from more people or more often. So there's always someone above you. There's always someone below you. There's always someone better than you. There's always somebody struggling and a little bit less successful than you. So be humble, lift others up, be proud of your accomplishment, but be grateful that you have that opportunity, because it can be taken away at any given moment. Until the next episode, keep that in mind.
Thanks for listening to the Mile You're In podcast. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, share, and subscribe.